Hello! And in this episode, I am going to remember that I'd already connected up a components factory before I connected this one. So we have electrical parts and I think plastics coming to there, but we also have a little way up here, Krigendoran components, which has, I think, alloy steel. Yes, so alloy steel trains come into this. So we still want to keep extending that component factory. So rather than bringing that up here, this is relatively local. So these let's load that. Let's load that. So these come from down here, and sort of head up here. So what we could do with this is simply create a nice junction which lets this access the. No, Ruston. Where's that? Oh yes, that's a narrow gauge locomotive. I don't need a narrow gauge locomotive currently, so what I'm going to do is just build that little kind of spiral that comes up there. That will let trains get into there, and now I need trains to be able to escape as well. So just before this tunnel, let's do this. Let's build a junction across there. There we go. Oh, look, that's all going okay. So now these alloy steel trains, rather than going to Krigendoran components, will go to Kensal Green Woods. There may, of course, some sort of chaos by by changing that. But there we go. Krigendoran components, yes, that's now going back to the alloy store. Let's go to Kensal Green Woods. This no longer needs to be here, so I'm going to leave the tunnel there. I'm not going to fuss too much about that. This was going to be not a great station. It was. It'd be nice. There's a lot of nice stuff we could build. We're all kind of busy messing with this, but that's a good one. One other thing that I want to do with this as well is that I've noticed as I've been doing this that we've been struggling a little bit. As I've put another route here. We've been struggling a little bit with these, with trains not actually going when they are old, then they're not actually going to service. So what I'm going to do is just, let's see if I can add a conditional order. I don't remember how I do that. It's conditional order jump. Yeah. Conditional order jump, go back to 1. So go back to 1 when the remaining lifetime is more than 1. So otherwise, go and service. So what this is doing is, even though I don't have breakdowns on, there's not much benefit in these trains servicing themselves. When these get old now, they're going to go and have an enforced service. So that means as long as these trains are available to upgrade, and I think the Holmes Class C still is, that will stop this problem that I've been having where the trains don't actually replace themselves. So should be doing that a bit. Should be doing that for salt long distance as well, because quite a few of the long distance salt trains are actually getting rather old. So what we're going to do here is this here. So this has an overflow. So there's more chance that these should be servicing themselves. But even so, let's do that with a couple of these. So conditional order jump, and again, remaining lifetime years is more than 1. So let's do that. There's service there. So that hopefully should see those service themselves nicely. Yes, okay. I'm not going to mess with that too much because I need to go back to my component factory, my 1 component factory now rather than my 2 component factories. And so this should have it. Yes, the alloy steel trains are able to get down there. Good. No disasters unfolding currently. So that's Maybe this will need more capacity in a little bit, but not right now. We'll be able to survive for now. This is quite good. So the only thing this needs now is stainless steel. So let's see, where are we going to get stainless steel from? Ooh, stainless steel comes from an electric arc furnace. Now, do we have any of those? No. So this is a new type of thing. So electric arc furnace needs scrap metal, ferrochrome, quicklime, and oxygen. We do have quicklime. Where does quicklime go? Sure, we have quicklime. Ooh, there's a profitability issue there, operating profit. Oh no, it's just we spent a lot of money. We haven't actually had trouble with this. Yeah. So this now, that can just go. That's an old train that doesn't need to. So quicklime, we already have. It goes to Bruce Grove Heath unload. So let's have a look where that is. Let's get the station list up. Bruce Grove Heath unload. Ouch. Bruce Grove Heath unload is actually a waypoint, isn't it? So somewhere around here. Yeah. It's Jean-Michel's jar is where we have that. So we have basic oxygen furnace. We also need to start thinking about a electric arc furnace as well. So where would be a good place to build one of those? So let's have a look at what that actually requires. So this is the assembly plant. This is the component factory. So we will stainless steel, and I know technically I could just accept the component factory being inefficient, and I could let it just. But it'd be quite nice to actually do this. So what we have is we have oxygen, which needs to come from cryoplant. We have this. What's this except? So manganese. This. So ferrochrome, I think, will be the new cargo that we've not carried yet. Yes, ferrochrome we haven't carried yet. So scrap metal, ferrochrome, quicklime. Yes. Yes, because this uses scrap. So do we carry scrap? Do we have scrap metal? No, so the arc furnace is one which turns scrap into stuff, into stainless steel. So the carbon steel and stainless steel. So what we're looking for really now here is somewhere where we can have a lime kiln cryoplant, scrap yard, and a bulk terminal all together. So lime kiln, bulk terminal. So component factory I'm going to remove from here. Electric arc furnace doesn't exist. So sheet and pipe mill, slag grinding plant. No, we can get rid of that. Wire and section mill, they don't exist. So it's these industries in close proximity. So down the Boat of Garten, we have some lime kilns. We have some some cryoplants. We don't really have much in the way of bulk terminal. Now, Leicester does have its bulk terminal. Though, so there's a bulk terminal here. Now, which is good. There's no scrap yards. Now, scrap yards are interesting because scrap yards are dependent on the. Yeah, we don't have any scrap yards, so scrap yard would have to build anyway. There's a lime kiln, obviously here, and there's a lime kiln. I'm tempted to build out this at Boat of Garten, but lime kiln needs limestone, so we also need a limestone mine, which we haven't yet exploited. I think this may be the best option. So it's to bring these lime down to here and then build our electrical arc furnace probably around Yarmouth. So there we go. Let's start building that chain up. So this is all passenger around here. Now, what I'm going to do with this, I think, is I'm going to build my major kind of limestone station up here. So this is going to be. Now, this actually let's think about how I want to do this. So these are my limestones up here. I want lime kilns. So lime kilns are But anyway, yes, this is my lime kiln. It's going to be down here. So I kind of want to come down this way. Oh, this is nice and flat as well. It's not too bad. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to have a sort of fairly standard loading station here. 7x2. We're now getting into this realm where we have quite large loading stations. Let's build that up. With a little depot there. There we go. No, nothing too exciting yet. So that's going to be where that loading station is. Now, that was Boat of Garten. I've got, that's a soda ash mine. Ah, there we go. There's the lime kiln. So I have a lime kiln there. This is where this AI is. A little bit in the way, so not too much of a problem. What we're going to do is build the station up on this ridge. Then this is going to be where the limestone comes off. So, now I was going to go for long limestone trains, wasn't I? So I was going to go for sort of 7 lengths. So let's do that. Let's make that transparent. So I need a little bit of space for signals on the exit. Then we go across there. Okay. And a bridge. There we go. And go straight through the farmland. Now, I'm going to go this side of the iron ore mine with my double track. I'm going to sort of go around this river, not destroy anything too much there. And then I think this. Do I want to do the bridges in sync? That makes the entrance to this station a little crowded, I think, but I should do that. Yeah, it's a little crowded on the entrance, but it's not too bad. Build this big mound in the middle of the farmland. And so, oops, that's a bit too much. Let's pre-roll that station entrance. There we go. That comes around there. And then we just got to build out sort of a bulbous snake round here. There we go. That's those things. And just I'm reminded now of Captain Beefheart's rather famous album, the Troutmask Replica, which has a few of the tracks give these little spoken introductions, and there's things like that. That's right, the mascara snake, fast and bulbous. So we have a bulbous hill for the purposes of going fast. So, boot of Garten, I think that's going to be the fast and bulbous. There we go. This probably going to need a waypoint as well as a drop off. But this is annoying. This AI has gotten all in the way. Now I could just build some bridges, but let's sort of snake this round like that. This is going to be named and yes. So let's sort of snake this round here because that also gives me the opportunity to connect up that coal mine to the network when I want to. When I want to go and start competing with that AI. So there we go. So we're going to come. How do we need to come up around here? So let's start looking at bringing this across. So just going to bring this across through here now. We could do as well. Just so. I think we want a tunnel. No, I think we'll bridge across here. And again, the trains are fairly high tractive effort. It's not really that problematic to have a few elevation changes. As long as you don't go for huge ones, then it doesn't really matter too much. So let's build them out. Let's make sure these all beat up. So this hill, yeah, so it probably makes sense to just go just this side of that lake. There we go. That's going to come down there. That's going to come down there. And then through here. So there's lots of nice industries as well that we could add to this route. Yes, there's an exciting narrow gauge locomotive, and I'm thinking I will use that because I mean what I'll have is I'll actually have a 2-stage transfer set up. So I think one limestone mine will transfer to the main pickup station, which is where my long trains will go. There we go. So I'm going to give this up on this elevated section, and there's so many industries that we're passing. There's we could certainly do a lot. What's that? The vehicle distributor. It's the big car park full of trucks. So it's maybe not so useful. I mean, looking more for kind of primary industries, things that I can take places. There. So this is going to have to just come up here, a little sort of detour up here. Is that really necessary? Well, it's not really that necessary. It saves us having to flatten that hill, which may be seen as a positive, depending on your sort of outlook of environmental destruction. Let's go and destroy these stones instead. Let's flatten those out. So I'm kind of avoiding doing too much, even though I can afford it. Even though we could do lots and lots of cutting and meddling and whatever. I'm trying to avoid it. Wow, this is one of those phases where I just added trains to this set, and now there's too many trains. I can't keep up. I think that it gets a bit better as you get towards the 1960s, and it's following the real life kind of rationalization and reduction in types of trains. I think you end up with lots of different DMUs and things as well. And there we go. So that's got its little wiggle there, and I'm going to call that in honor of the Captain Beefheart. I'm going to call this the mascara snake. This goes around here. So, and then this AI will probably go bankrupt, and I will be like, "Oh, why did I build that?" No idea. So this is a little inefficient. It's a little meandering. It's just, much like this series, really. This is how it goes, isn't it? It's a Timberwolf's kind of let's play. It's a little inefficient. It's a little meandering, but it does the job. So we're now looking for something that's going to have a decent amount of power to take this down. So now that's CC Electric that I found actually. So have a look at these available trains. So the SRCC Electric is 75 miles an hour, 1400 horsepower, and big tractive effort, 177, compared to the 8F, which is 141. This is cheap to run as well. I think this would make a nice third railway. So let's do that. Let's now this is usually where it all goes wrong, and I find that I've failed to electrify one single tile and everything goes badly. But let's see. So, bullied Q1. That's no. So bullied Q1 would be quite good as well, but no, not going to go too wild there. We'll leave this as third rail. So the CC Electric, which I should be able to build now in here, if I've got this right. So it's going to be CC Electric, so that's going to go there, and we want to carry lots and lots of limestone. We want to make these a full 6.6 tiles as standard brake van. That's 7 tiles. Let's make this 6.7. How much limestone is that? It's 486. Well, that's perfect. That's you needed a 486 to run Transport Tycoon Deluxe, so there we go. 486 tons feels like quite apt. I'm actually not quite true. You may be wondering, what really? What do you mean not quite true? So you could actually run. I don't know whether the Deluxe was the same, but you could. And this, I'm going to just do this remaining lifetime. That is, so skip when the remaining lifetime is more than a year. Otherwise, go to this depot and then service yourself there. Okay, so that's going to be this is going to be limestone. Let's create that. Let's create lime. Let's create electric lime. So that's going to go into there. So I'm going to clone a few of these. There we go. So yeah, but a Certainly Transport Tycoon would run on a 386. They would run very, very slowly on a 386. You weren't getting a particularly high performance experience running it on a This I'm going to do a narrow gauge railway. This again, this is not going to be quite as involved. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring this across there. They're going to actually, although this is a bit unprototypical, this idea that I'm going to double track the bridges. But the reason I'm double tracking the bridges is the bridges are actually some of the most problematic things that you can encounter in terms of the slowdown. So I'm going to put my mineral unloader there. So, well, that was an unloader. That should be a loader. This should be a silo. Right. Okay, so that's my silo there. They're just going to pop that there. And this... yeah, so we could probably just put some two-way exit signals there. And hopefully that will do. I'm not totally sure whether I'm signalling that as well as I could be. So I might want to change the way that gets signalled. And this feels like it should probably... It's almost pointless making that single track, isn't it? So that's no real point making that single track there. But there we go. So a few signals there, So let's build a narrow gauge. So this Ruston and Hornsby, this should be a mineral wagon. So they're not going to get too many tons. 72 tons of limestone. So that's going to go there. And it's going to go unload and transfer. So that's there. So that little limestone transfer. So I'm going to put that into a new group as well. So the idea here is I'm building a little sort of industrial short line. Limestone transfer. Oh, we already have one. Yes, we had another one that we built over the other side, but let's do that. Let's set those running. Oh yes, it's a diesel. Narrow gauge diesel. Did I refit that? Yes, I did. Good. Let's make sure that I actually refit it. So these are building up now. These SRCCs are building up. So we should really start thinking about putting engineering supplies into here as well. And now, where would we get engineering supplies from? We have an assembly plant. Yes. So this will become a sort of virtuous circle when we have this, because assembly plants will produce vehicles and engineering supplies. So yes, I'm not going to worry too much about trying to make these super efficient. There's lots of things which produce them, actually. So we have these. So let's have a look at what we've got. We've got anything nearby which would actually produce these, other than the assembly plant. So the assembly plant needs things sent to it, so that's not going to be useful. So it's really... So we're looking for really a wharf. Is there a wharf nearby that we could use? There's not, actually. So we're going to just leave these as they are for now. That means we will get less quicklime than we might have wanted from the... Oh, yes, this mine does quite well, so let's pop that out there. How long are these? This might actually serve better. I'm going to get rid of that. Then you're just going to build that as a little roll on, roll off. So just make that a little bit more efficient. As that comes around there. There we go. So let's go around there. So this will now dump some extra limestone here. Oh yeah, this one does really well. This is a really good station. So let's make this. This is a little bit larger than the actual trains. So in fact, this probably needs to be double track all the way, because this may seem kind of crazy, but now narrow gauge trains don't really get old, so I'm not going to worry about sending these to the depot. These probably should have had. Yeah. This may even need upgrading to proper trains, because these really are quite slow. They're not the very powerful. So maybe this will need to be a proper line. How's that? It's going to slow down a lot, isn't it? Yes. So we could do here is to make this a little bit less of a disaster area. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to also get rid of that because I think, yes. See. Yeah. Doesn't really matter. So third rail, there we go. That can go across there. That can go across there. Probably should have a signal. So, because these don't really slow down very much going over the bridge. So the narrow gauge railway, I'm going to give that priority. And that should speed that up a little bit. This is still outrageously slow. It's not really doing very well at transporting limestone. So we have quite a lot of these trains now. Just for that little route. Yeah. It's not the most efficient way of doing these, but it's fine. Was there a better locomotive than that little Ruston and Hornsby one? So this is 21 kilometers. Yeah, Riddle tanks would have been better, really, than that. Oh well. Oh well. So, yes, that's just trying to get around to the limestone mines, isn't it? So this is not the most efficient route. It's not the best, but should be okay now. Interestingly, Maidenhead Woods. Oh yes, electric lime is there. That's heading to Fast and Bulbous. So this is actually, these are long trains. So even these are struggling to get to their top speed. They are sort of, I don't know, 55. So it's not really enough to worry about. The fact that it could get up to 55 and it's only doing 53, 54. It's not really worth kind of trying to double-head it or add locomotives for that extra speed. So that's not too bad. So let's let this get down here. And I knew this is going to be another one of those ones which seems to just sort of gradually extend out, like these long trains seem to have gradually extended itself out sort of into the 27 minutes range. Probably because I had my eye on the time. And I was like, oh yes, I've got plenty of time to do things. And then that narrow gauge railway needed lots of optimising. So I kind of had less time than I thought. But then this is not sort of on a fixed TV schedule. And it's maybe people watching, if you are watching and you are in this unfortunate situation where you thought, oh yes, Timberwolf episode, they're 25 minutes long. They're fairly reliably 25 minutes long. So what I will do is I watch that shortly before I go out or before I do something, and then he goes and extends it 5 minutes. And now anybody watching this is now 5 minutes late for their thing that they were going to do afterwards. So I apologise if that's happened, but it feels like relatively likely. This train. So I'm running one of the newer nightlies, which has got the 60 frames per second settings. I say newer nightlies, of course. By the time you see this, thanks to the kind of recording schedule, this should be 111 should have been released, which so I think we should be in April. So everybody will have this, but it does have the odd effect where, because the game still runs at kind of 33 frames per second internally, when you're following trains, they run at 33 frames per second, and you get this sort of effect where everything's a little bit jerky. You can see where I scroll that now, that's a lot smoother. But now the train has arrived. Is this a success? It's a success. Fantastic. 51,000 off that. So that's good and profitable as well. And so let that disappear off. And I think that's a very good place to leave it. So I shall see you in a future episode when we do something with this lime.